All right, buckle up, everybody, because today on the deep dive, we are jetting off to Hong Kong.
Ooh, Hong Kong.
Yeah, to check out a hotel that's piqued my interest.
Oh.
It's called Lodgewood
Mhm.
by L'Hôtel Wan Chai.
Okay, I've heard of the hotel. Yeah.
And they're really pushing this whole luxury AD comfort thing, which, let's be real,
Right.
who doesn't want that?
Always a winning combination.
So we're going to dig into their promotional materials, see what they're highlighting.
Always got to read between the lines with those, right?
Oh, absolutely. Always a little bit of detective work involved.
For sure.
But first things first, location, location, location.
Right. Got to set the scene.
Lodgewood is smack dab in the middle of Wan Chai, and this isn't just any Hong Kong district. It's got this crazy mix of old and new, like picture this. Colonial buildings next to these gleaming skyscrapers.
Wow. Yeah.
And then you throw in some traditional temples, like tucked away in little alleys.
It's like a time warp, but with like really good dumplings.
Exactly. It's a total sensory overload in the best possible way.
I can almost smell the incense and the like sizzling street food.
And speaking of location, Lodgewood is strategically placed, to say the least.
Okay, how so?
Well, they're super close to the Hong Kong Convention and Exhibition Center.
Ah, so they're definitely targeting business travelers.
Oh, for sure. But then they also talk about the Wan Chai Heritage Trail.
Okay, so maybe a bit of history and culture for those who want it.
Yeah, and they make a big deal about how easy it is to hop on the MTR and explore the rest of the city.
Smart move, appealing to different types of travelers.
But here's where it gets interesting. They casually mention being minutes away from the upscale boutiques of Pacific Place.
Upscale boutiques.
So I got to ask our listeners, who are we picturing here?
Right, who's the target audience?
Are you the type to splurge on designer labels? Or are you more likely to be found haggling for souvenirs at a street market?
Because Wan Chai definitely caters to both, right?
Oh, absolutely. And it seems like Lodgewood is trying to straddle that line, too.
Trying to have it both ways.
Which, hey, more power to them if they can pull it off.
Right, it's a challenge for sure.
Now, let's talk about the look and feel of the hotel itself.
Okay, the design.
They describe it as a blend of modern and traditional, which, okay, pretty standard hotel jargon.
You hear that a lot, yeah.
But looking at the pictures, it actually seems like they've done a good job of mixing those elements.
Okay, like how?
They've got this sleek exterior, very modern, clean lines, but then you step inside. And it's all warm and inviting with pops of color and like these beautiful traditional Chinese art pieces.
So it's not just about the aesthetics. They're trying to create a sense of place.
Exactly. They even say something like, experience the essence of Hong Kong without even leaving the hotel.
Okay, that's interesting. Tapping into that desire for authentic experiences.
Especially for travelers who might be a little overwhelmed by the city's, energy.
Right, because Hong Kong can be a lot to take in.
It can be a lot. So they're positioning the hotel as this sanctuary, this haven of peace and culture.
A little oasis in the middle of the chaos.
And speaking of havens, did you notice how much they emphasize the spacious rooms?
Oh, yeah, they make a big deal about that.
And I get it, because in a city where space is at a premium, that's a huge selling point.
For sure, especially if you're used to, like, those tiny hotel rooms in other big cities.
I mean, imagine coming off a long-haul flight.
Yeah.
You're tired, you're jet-lagged, and you walk into this, like, sprawling room.
Suddenly the stress melts away.
Right. It's like instant relaxation.
They're definitely playing into that whole idea of the hotel as a retreat.
Oh, absolutely. It's not just a place to sleep. It's an escape.
And that's a smart move, especially in a place like Hong Kong where everyone's always on the go.
Okay. Ready for the fun stuff.
Hit me with it.
Amenities. And honestly, the spa is calling my name.
Oh, yeah. What do they have?
It's not just your typical massage situation. We're talking treatments inspired by traditional Chinese medicine.
Ooh, that sounds fancy.
They even have this jade stone ritual that they're really hyping up.
I'm intrigued.
Me too.
Yeah.
And of course, no luxury hotel would be complete without a 24/7 state-of-the-art fitness center.
Gotta burn off those vacation calories somehow, right?
Exactly. But let's be real. I'm more interested in the dining options.
Okay, what have they got?
They've got a mix of local and international cuisine, which is pretty standard these days.
Yeah, you see that everywhere.
But then they mentioned a rooftop bar with panoramic views of the harbor.
Okay, now we're talking.
Right. It's all about the experience.
It's not just dinner, it's dinner with a view.
And for those Instagram-worthy moments, you can't beat a rooftop bar.
For sure, it's a selling point.
But here's where things get really interesting. Lodgewood isn't just going after the luxury traveler.
Ugh.
They're also making a big deal about catering to business travelers, AD families.
Ooh, that's ambitious.
Right, it's like they're trying to be all things to all people.
It'd be interesting to see how they manage that in
So
practice.
on one hand, they've got meeting rooms, high-speed Wi-Fi,
Uh-huh.
a dedicated business center,
All the essentials for the busy executive.
but then they also mention family-friendly suites, kids clubs, even babysitting services.
Wow, so they're really trying to cover all the bases.
Which raises the question, how do they create an atmosphere that works for everyone?
Right. Can you really cater to such different needs without someone feeling out of place?
That's a good point, and something to keep in mind as we dig deeper.
Definitely.
But before we get too bogged down in the practicalities, there's one detail I have to mention.
Okay, what is it?
They talk about these elite, tailor-made holidays arranged through Intric Journey.
Elite, huh?
And I'm like, what does that even mean?
Right. What level of elite are we talking about here?
Private jets, yacht parties, backstage passes to the opera. I need details.
They're definitely piquing our curiosity.
Okay, before we get lost in a world of elite fantasies,
Right. Let's bring it back down to earth.
we need to talk about something I'm always happy to see, sustainability.
Ah, yes. Very important.
Lodgewood is all about energy efficiency, water conservation, waste reduction, even those little biodegradable toiletries.
All good things.
But the question is, are they just ticking boxes? Or are they truly walking the walk?
Right. Are they going above and beyond the industry standard?
That's what we need to figure out.
We'll have to do some digging.
And that brings us to the human element, the service.
Ah, yes. The people who make it all happen.
They brag about 247 concierge and room service, always ready to cater to your every whim.
Sounds nice.
And they highlight their multilingual staff, which is a thoughtful touch for international travelers,
For sure, makes you feel more welcome.
especially when you're tired and jet-lagged after a long flight.
Yeah, those little things can make a big difference.
All right, last but not least, let's talk deals.
Of course, everyone loves a good deal.
Even if we're dreaming of luxury, we still got to be mindful of the budget.
Absolutely.
So they mentioned seasonal discounts, loyalty programs, and special deals for extended stays.
Smart move, appealing to a wider range of budgets.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have a lot to digest.
Location, design, amenities, that whole elite travel mystery.
Don't forget sustainability.
Oh yeah, and service, and ways to save a few bucks.
Sounds like they're trying to offer the whole package.
So far, Lodgewood is painting a pretty rosy picture.
It does sound appealing.
But remember, we're working with their marketing materials.
Yeah. Right, we got to keep that in mind.
It's time to put on our detective hats and see if we can spot any potential downsides or things they might be glossing over.
Agreed. Let's not get swept away by the hype just yet.
We gotta stay objective.
Exactly. We're here to uncover the truth.
The whole truth and nothing but the truth. About Lodgewood by L'Hôtel Wan Chai.
Let's do it. Yeah, they've definitely laid it on thick, haven't they? All this talk of luxury and personalized service.
I know, right? But like we said, time to put on our skeptical hats.
Our detective hats.
Exactly. And you know what's really missing from all this fancy marketing?
What's that?
Actual prices.
Oh, yeah, good point.
They talk about value for money, but that's such a vague term.
It is, isn't it? What's valuable to one person could be a total ripoff to someone else.
And let's be real, luxury usually comes with a luxury price tag.
Especially in a city like Hong Kong.
I'm also a little suspicious of those elite tailor-made holidays.
Oh, yeah, those sound a bit too good to be true.
I mean, they sound amazing, don't get me wrong, but I have a feeling that level of personalized service is going to cost a pretty penny.
Oh, for sure. You're not getting private yacht tours and backstage passes for free.
Exactly. So it makes me wonder, who are they really targeting here?
Right. Is this for the ultra-wealthy, the jet-setters?
Or are they trying to lure in a wider audience with this promise of exclusivity, even if it's just a taste?
It's a good question, and honestly, it might be a bit of both.
Yeah, maybe they're trying to appeal to those aspirational travelers, the ones who want a taste of the high life.
The ones who are willing to splurge a little for that Instagram-worthy experience.
Exactly. But let's go back to this whole business travelers and families thing.
Oh, yeah, that was a bold claim.
I mean, it's one thing to have amenities that work for both groups.
Right, like a pool and a gym.
But creating an atmosphere that truly caters to such different needs, That's a whole other challenge.
It is. Imagine this.
Okay, I'm imagining.
You've just finished a long day of meetings. You're exhausted.
Yeah.
You're looking forward to a quiet, sophisticated dinner at the hotel's fancy restaurants.
Sounds lovely.
But the place is packed with kids, running around, screaming.
Oh,
The air is filled with the sound of crying babies and dropped silverware.
not exactly the relaxing ambiance I had in mind.
Right. And on the flip side, families might feel out of place in a hotel that's clearly geared towards business travelers.
Imagine trying to navigate a sleek, minimalist lobby with a stroller and a diaper bag.
Or trying to have a romantic evening while a kids' club disco is blasting next door.
It's like trying to mix oil and water. Sometimes it just doesn't work.
Exactly. And that's where those online reviews become so important.
Oh yeah, reading what real people have to say about their experiences.
Because they'll tell you if the hotel is truly family-friendly or if it's more of a business-focused environment.
They'll give you the unfiltered truth.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Speaking of which, there's another detail that's worth mentioning.
What is it?
They talk about Wan Chai's vibrant nightlife, but they conveniently leave out a certain part of its history.
Ah, you mean the red light district.
Bingo. Now, it's definitely become much tamer over the years,
It has, but it's still something to consider.
especially if you're traveling with kids or if you're sensitive to noise.
Because vibrant nightlife can sometimes mean noisy streets and late-night revelry.
Not exactly ideal for a peaceful vacation.
Exactly. So it's important to be aware of the neighborhood's nuances.
Do your research, people. Okay, let's circle back to sustainability.
Ah, yes. The eco-friendly claims.
They're very proud of their green initiatives, but as we discussed, the devil is in the details.
Are they just meeting the bare minimum? Or are they going above and beyond?
Do they have any certifications to back up their claims? Are they transparent about their practices?
These are all questions our listeners should be asking.
Because sustainability is more than just a buzzword.
It's about making conscious choices and aligning your values with the businesses you support.
So I encourage everyone to do their own digging, see if Lodgewood's sustainability efforts truly resonate with them.
Don't just take their word for it. Look for evidence.
Okay, we've been pretty critical so far.
We have, haven't we? Playing devil's advocate.
But let's not forget, Lodgewood still seems like a pretty swanky option.
It does. They're clearly putting a lot of effort into creating a luxurious and comfortable experience.
And that location in Wan Chai is definitely a major plus.
It is. You're right in the heart of the action.
So it really comes down to weighing the pros and cons, figuring out if Lodgewood aligns with your individual needs and preferences.
Exactly. What are your priorities? What are you looking for in a hotel?
And even if Lodgewood isn't the perfect fit for you, this deep dive has hopefully given you some food for thought.
Some things to consider when evaluating any hotel.
Because it's all about finding the right match.
The hotel that fits your travel style, your budget, and your overall vibe.
But there's one more point I think is worth highlighting.
Okay, I'm listening.
Throughout their materials, Lodgewood keeps emphasizing personalized service, catering to individual needs, crafting unique experiences.
They do. It's a big part of their brand.
And while that sounds amazing, it also raises an interesting question.
What's that?
In this age of increasing automation and digitization, how sustainable is this level of personalized service in the long run?
That's a good question.
Is it a genuine commitment to guest satisfaction? Or is it more of a carefully crafted image?
Right. Is it all just marketing?
Because technology is changing the travel industry rapidly.
It is. Everything is becoming more automated, more efficient.
So I wonder, can this level of human touch really survive in the long term?
It'll be interesting to see how things evolve.
Imagine a world where your every need is anticipated by an AI-powered concierge.
Your luggage is whisked away by robot bellhops.
Your every whim catered to by algorithms.
Would it still feel luxurious? Or would it feel impersonal, cold?
That's the question, isn't it?
Maybe the ideal lies somewhere in between, a blend of high-tech and high-touch.
Where technology enhances the experience, but doesn't completely replace the human element.
Exactly, because sometimes you just want to talk to a real person.
Someone who can offer a genuine smile and a helpful suggestion.
Someone who can make you feel like more than just a number in a system.
That's what true hospitality is all about.
It's about connection. It's about creating memorable experiences.
So as we wrap up our exploration of Lodgewood by L'Hôtel Wan Chai,
It's time to bring this deep dive to a close.
we want to leave our listeners with this final thought.
Okay, hit us with it.
Don't just take our word for it.
Or Lodgewood's word for it.
Do your own research, read reviews from other travelers,
Explore the neighborhood online. Get a feel for the place.
and most importantly, ask yourself, does Lodgewood align with your vision of a perfect Hong Kong getaway?
Because at the end of the day, the best travel experiences are the ones that are tailored to your individual needs and desires.
So whether you're dreaming of luxury or a budget-friendly adventure,
We hope this deep dive has empowered you to make informed choices.
and to create a Hong Kong itinerary that's uniquely yours,
So keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep seeking out those hidden gems.
happy travels, everyone.
Yeah,
I mean, it really is all about peeling back those layers, isn't
it
it?
is, yeah.
Like, what's the real Wan Chai like?
Mm.
Beyond the, the fancy brochures,
Oh, wait, beyond the marketing.
the Instagram filters.
What are people actually saying about Lodgewood?
Exactly. We got to get that unfiltered perspective.
Those firsthand accounts, that's what paints the real picture.
Because, let's be honest, luxury is in the eye of the beholder.
It totally is. What one person finds luxurious, another might find, like, stuffy or pretentious.
Totally. And hey, even if Lodgewood end up not being your cup of tea,
Right, maybe it's not the right fit.
hopefully this deep dive has given you a good framework for checking out any hotel.
Yeah, whether you're headed to Hong Kong
Or, like, Helsinki.
Helsinki, yeah.
It's all about those key questions.
Yeah, yeah.
Reading between the lines.
Trusting your gut.
That's huge.
Because the perfect hotel
yeah.
isn't always the one with, like, the most stars or
Yeah.
the fanciest amenities.
It's got to feel right for you.
It really is. It's about that personal connection.
It's about finding that sweet spot, right?
Right.
Where your travel style, your budget,
Uh-huh.
it all lines up with what the hotel's offering.
And the vibe of the neighborhood, that's important too.
Absolutely. And remember, there's no one-size-fits-all approach to travel.
Nope, everyone's different.
The most important thing is that your experience is, well, authentic.
Yeah, meaningful.
And that you come back feeling, like, refreshed.
Recharged, inspired,
So whether you're dreaming of a Hong Kong adventure,
or just love nerding out about hotels.
oh, always,
We hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity.
for sure. And maybe, like, made you a little more critical of the information out there.
Because there's a lot of noise, especially in the travel world.
So much marketing, so much hype.
Being able to separate that from reality,
That's a superpower.
it really is.
Like having a built-in BS detector.
Exactly. Well said.
So, until our next deep dive,
Keep exploring
keep questioning.
and keep seeking out those hidden gems.
Happy travels, everyone.